one of the most important things that I've realized is something that at first I read from Atmananda Krishnamenon, and he says, what's more important than the experience of happiness itself isn't happiness itself, it's understanding its significance. It was one of those things I skimmed, you're reading and one of the things you read out of the book. It's not, you don't notice the impact it actually has and what he's actually saying. And the reason he says that is because if the experience of our true nature was enough for unconditional happiness or for living in that, everybody who'd had a glimpse of their true nature would be living as that all the time. Now, the paradox that we live in is that technically we are that all the time. But what is it then that makes it seem, what is it then that makes us seem to be animated with that truth more often than not? And it's understanding the significance of our true nature. And what that actually means is understanding it, actually understanding what it is. That's what the significance of it is. So in anything that we share, no matter who it's with or what it is, our goal is to share the significance of what we're saying. This is why if you tell someone, by the way, that which is experiencing your experience, to which has no name, no form, no color, no size, no shape, but is the background from which you experience all things. First, they'd be probably startled, but then they probably won't realize if they then clock it and go, oh, okay, yes, I know it. There's actually something experiencing my experience that I've never really realized before. They probably won't know the significance of what that is. You see, there's no understanding there. There's just, oh, okay, that is that. That's it. And it won't leave any traces of freedom. So when we're on this path, what we find is that it's as though we are like darkness seeking for the light. The place we start here is we start from the end. We are the light seeking the darkness. And the reason that I position it in that way is because if we are what all these ancient traditions say we are, then how could we do anything to experience more of what we're already experiencing? If it's already what we are, what else would there be to experience? What new thing would we find? Obviously nothing. It's already what it is. So we're taught that we must seek for a state. Well, we're not really taught that, at least nowadays. But the idea is that we must find some kind of state of mind, that we must find some kind of some type of different phenomenal experience, whether that's a very subtle, different way of experiencing the body or experiencing perceptions, or whether I should feel a particular way more all of the time. Some phenomenal difference in experience is what we look for. But the issue is that if we had to seek for any other alternative experience, it would have to start, because it wouldn't currently be present. And if it starts, it ends. And if it can end, it's not the truth. Anything that starts and ends. There was something I was about to say. There was a really good way of saying it, which I can't remember what it was right now. Things that come, states that come are states that go. I think that was it, actually. It sounded like there was more to it, but there wasn't. States that come are states that go, and anything we find as an object of experience is, by definition, limited. So therefore, if we see that clearly, then it means that the state that we're already in is the thing we're looking for. It is the infinite, and the only thing preventing us from seeing that are just actual things that we can look for that convince us that we're finite. You see? So it changes the entire search. It's no longer a search to find light. we're just being light because it's already what we are. And if that is true, the beauty of this is that I can guarantee most people in this room and online right now, we already know that. Like, there's already a part of us that's like screaming like, yes, I know this is what I am. So, and even if you, for example, haven't had a glimpse of your true nature, or it's something that still seems too much like an idea or a thing that's like, yeah, I'm open to it, but I'm not really convinced yet. Even if you're on that level, it makes no difference, because living the way we used to live has caused all of the suffering. So it's like, well, so all I have to do is just pretend that I'm infinite and just look for my limitations? Yes, it's quite literally kind of like that. You just live as though you are infinite. When I say live as though you're infinite, live as though the self you are is not limited to the body and the mind. Live as though the self that you are, what would you do if you were not limited to the body and the mind? You can even just ask that question to yourself right now. If you were to go from where you are right now, how would that be if you just absolutely knew you weren't limited to the body and the mind? Would that change the way that you speak? Would that change the way that you move? The reason we look for these types of changes is because it gives us a visceral understanding. It's like, oh, well, because we start looking at how we would express in life if that were true. And then all of a sudden we realize we don't have to recognize our true nature from that point. If we live in that way, life does the rest. Life does the rest. But the beautiful thing is we can cooperate with it. And this is what we're about to do in this retreat. You see? So that cooperation process is based on the premise that we're no longer seeking. We're adventuring. We're basing the presumption of our experiences that if I really am what I know I am, or what the ancient traditions say that I am. I think I can turn this off now. I was waiting to make sure no one came. Then looking for something is null and void. So if I just bet my eggs on that my current state of mind is the place to be, and the only thing that seems to take me away from that are things that make me convinced I'm limited, then why don't I look for those things that make me convinced I'm limited and see the truth in those? And this is what thought yoga is about. This is what exploring our experience is about. How do you explore experience without our previous conditioning getting involved? An example would be a conversation I had with Lean recently in one of the cohorts. I hope you don't mind I'm using you as an example. It's a good example. When we look at objects, or when I say objects, I mean anything perceivable, whether through sight, sound, touch, smell, taste, anything you can experience as an object. We clothe it with a concept. So we see things, and in the way of what we see, or filtering what we see, if I'm looking at the easiest one to do is the sensation of the weight of our body. It's the best analogy to understand this, because when we experience the weight of our body, hands up who feels the weight of their body first. Put your hands up if you feel the weight of your body. Hands up who feels a sensation. Perfect. So which one is the weight and which one is the sensation? Because you can't be feeling both. Which one is actually being experienced? Is it the sensation or is it the weight? Sensation. The sensation, exactly. So when I said, do you feel the weight of your body? You went into this, it's almost like an idea realm. This is an important thing to understand. Think of like, sorry? A concept. A concept. And in a concept is almost like a very subtle dimension. A very subtle dimension that's that's filtering experience. In the same way that if you imagine a lemonade stand in your mind, it's real, but it's not real, right? The idea of it is real, but then the thing the idea is made of isn't actually a lemonade stand, right? So in the same way, that's a think about where are we? If we're in our heads or wherever we are, imagining a lemonade stand, where actually are we in that experience? We're not sitting here in this room, are we, in that moment? So where are we? Well, we're not really in our head, because in our head is apparently, according to science, I've never seen my skull, but brains, veins, things like that. Lemonade stand ideas aren't in my head. There's nothing in our head being experienced. So what we have is this subtle layer of idea that we project, it's better to say filter our experience with, and weight is one of them. Color is another one. Distance is another one. Size and shape is another one. We have weight, size and shape. And if you look at that, that is literally how we distinguish an experience at all, is if it has a size and a shape, a form and a color, a place and a distance. So what we find is that in order to truly explore our experience with genuine curiosity and openness, we have to learn to stop seeing with these concepts. We have to learn to see things without adding a concept to it. How do we do that? We just stop using our mind. We stop using our mind to see. When I say mind, we stop using thoughts to see. We start not using memory to look at things. Because this is when we look at the weight of our body, it's with memory. Weight can only be referenced with memory, because in the experience of the weight is just a sensation. So the only way you're going to get memory as a concept is if you remember it. And a memory, what's a memory? Someone try and describe what's a memory. It's a piece of data, a piece of information contained in our mind. It's like using Google. It's like notes. There's not much difference apart from one's on an iPad and one's somewhere in the ether realms. I'm just going to stop using head anymore because it ruins my explanation, but you understand the sentiment. Counter space, we'll call it. So what that process is the process of the removal of knowledge, the removal of the dependency to use knowledge as an accurate source of information. But our whole society's literally, that's what we do. We use knowledge to know anything. We use knowledge. I know this because of this. I know that because of that. I know this because of this. But what's the one thing you cannot do to know the only thing you cannot know? Is use knowledge. It's the one thing you can't use to know something that is non-objective. And that's what we are, non-objective being. That which is provisionally containing the entirety of our experience. So this process where I meet people is in this adventurous mode where we're no longer seeking what we're looking for. We're no longer seeking to be the light. We are the light, exploring what appears to be darkness, these parts of our experience that seem to convince us that we're limited. And we do that by not using memory or knowledge to tell us anything that's true about our experience. So, let's begin.